And we're live. Hey, everybody, what's up? Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups. Right there, I've got Chad from 90MFComics. What's up, buddy?
Yo, what's going on, Robbie? I'm just super excited to be here, chilling, hanging out, ready to talk comics with you and just nerd out with the rest of the chat, man. So thank you for having me. This is awesome, brother.
Oh, thanks for coming in. We've been wanting to do something together for a while. It's been a long time since those days on Jim Mint's channel, right?
It seems, right? It seems like it was yesterday, but when you really think about it, it's been a while at this point, right?
Yeah, you know, it really has.
So much has happened in the comic book world and in the actual world with coronavirus and all that crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. You know, we've been doing a lot more live streams here on the channel, just trying to keep in touch with the community, let everybody know that we're safe, that we're doing good. So Chad's safe. I'm safe.
Thank you. And I hope everyone in the chat is safe. And another thing that's changed since the last time that we've seen each other, I've become a father. So that's another reason why you haven't seen me live as much. But I have started to go live a lot more on my channel, 90MFComics. So anyone that isn't following me, check me out, 90MFComics. I go live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So thank you for having me again, man. Sorry for the shameless plug. I always have to get those
please. Everybody, seriously, check out the channel. They do great stuff. And I've always wanted to be on one of those Tuesday night streams. And now it looks like that may be a possibility.
Right? I mean, have you guys officially like shut down your county yet? Or no? Okay.
No, we're in Alabama. We're gonna be way behind on that, right? We didn't even start testing till last week. So we've gone from like 0 to almost 200 in a week. Okay. Confirmed cases.
Yeah.
And
it's probably going to get even bigger.
It's going to get even worse. Yeah. And I know people here that are sick that they cannot test them because they're only testing by certain criteria because there's not enough tests, right?
Yeah.
So all kinds of stuff. Hey, Bueller's in the chat. Look at that.
Yo, what up, Bueller? So yeah, man. And the paranoia is real with everyone as well. Like the people that, think, that aren't sick, that think they're sick, they want to get tested. So, I mean, I've been just trying to like stay at home. Of course, with the little guy, I'm not trying to like cause any harm to him. And he's what I'm thinking about most importantly, because I could care less about myself. Because if he wasn't here, who knows what I would be doing. But thank God he's here because I'm safe at home with my wife and my child. As I said that, she gave me the look, Yeah.
But, well, I'm good to hear that. I'm glad to hear that because, Florida's kind of become the butt of a lot of jokes here in the U.S.
Yeah, we have been. But you know what? I love it here, man.
I'm in Alabama. I'm very close. Florida's like our vacation spot, PCB mostly for me. But it's a fun time down in Florida. I've been down in South Florida, and that's wild down there.
That's where I'm from. That's where I live. What do you mean?
It's a great place. That's Pompano Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Miami. That's a great area. It's so fun. Normal
everyday life for your boy.
That's super cool.
Nothing surprises me when it comes on the news. I'm like, oh yeah, for sure.
Well, and I live in Alabama, and we should be the butt of everybody's jokes, but luckily we both, Florida and Alabama, have Mississippi right next to us, and they can kind of sometimes take the brunt of it.
Yeah, right, for sure, man. Man, I love it down here. It's born and raised. I don't see myself going anywhere else. Staying down here, raising my family down here, and that's just what it is, 90MFComics. And just remember, for all the 90holics in the chat, YouTube is 90.
Yeah, you had to say it.
I know.
You got to say it a few more times. I wish I should have set up a sound effect to go off every time.
I wanted to do it a little earlier, but I didn't want to scare off all your fans yet, Robbie, because sometimes the Y290 ego comes out and it's just bigger than myself. I don't know how to describe it, but definitely YouTube is 90. If you don't know it, you'll know it now when you hit that subscribe button on 90MFComics.
Absolutely.
So well, as I mentioned earlier before we went live, I was making some dinner. I was grilling out on my canal, and I had some Lynyrd Skynyrd going on. I'm like, me and Robbie can connect over some Lynyrd Skynyrd. They're from Florida. They had they recorded a lot in Alabama. They pretty much lived there at one point, so I'm sure they're still the talk of the town over there. No?
Oh my goodness. Everybody that comes into this state, like a touring artist, whether it could be a country artist, it could be a pop star, they do Sweet Home Alabama. Every single one of them.
It's the go-to, right?
Yeah, it's the go-to. Like down up here in Alabama, we're kind of tired of that one. You know, some people aren't or whatever, and some people are very tired of Freebird, right?
Yeah. All right.
I think Freebird is one of the best songs ever. Like I really feel that song. I'm not even kidding.
Now I'm really gonna know if you're a Lynyrd Skynyrd fan, because I really love me Lynyrd Skynyrd. What is your favorite Lynyrd Skynyrd song?
I have two.
Okay.
One of them, my actual favorite Lynyrd Skynyrd song is Tuesday's Gone. I love that song.
No, that's money. Okay, that's money. Can't
probably
that.
Yeah, and probably because of the connection to Dazed and Confused. They use that in the third act of Dazed and Confused, and that's one of my favorite movies ever. The other one is my mother. My mother passed away a little bit over 10 years ago, but she was a huge Skynyrd fan. Oh yeah, but thank you. But she was a huge Skynyrd fan, right? And I mean, she was like a teenager in the 70s, you know? And so she would like tell me that song Simple Kind of Man.
Okay.
She was like, this is the song I always want you to think that I'm singing to you whenever you hear it. And so to this day, that song will get me.
All right.
And if I've had too much to drink, I might get a little teary. You know what I'm saying? But like that song means a lot to me. And I really love the Deftones cover of it.
Oh, okay. No, that's a great version. No, for sure.
So I would say those two. But Tuesday's Gone, I think, is like that song just before anything. That song just really touched me. But I do feel Freebird a lot.
Okay.
And then there's a lot more that I don't necessarily know the name, but you know the jam, you know, give me dun, 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 you know, all that kind of stuff.
Give me 2 steps.
Oh yeah, that's one.
Steps?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, for sure. No,
yeah, I should have figured that one out. That's easy. If you know the hook, you know the name of the song.
Yeah, no, definitely. No. So my favorite Lynyrd Skynyrd song for sure is Ballad of Curtis Lowe. If you haven't heard it, go check it out. That is by far my favorite Skynyrd song. And number 2 would probably be Saturday Night Special. You know? So, and that's another popular one amongst most people. So those would be my 2 I would go with.
Skynyrd's hardcore down here in the Southeast, y'all.
You know it, man.
Those of you that are all over the country and the world out there right now, like maybe you're like, what are they? Why? No, what? Nobody cares about Lynyrd Skynyrd. Y'all, it's so real down here. It's absolutely crazy. Oh, we got a lot of people in the chat. That's super cool. It was nice to see Bueller in here. We got Scarpad's Comic Treks in here.
God Tank. We got Dylan's Comics up in here. What's going on,
Dylan? Dylan, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Glad to see everybody's out and doing cool. Michael says Simple Man is amazing. Hell yeah, it is.
No, definitely, you know, with most people having to be, you know, locked up inside, it's pretty cool to be able to go live with you, talk some comic books tonight on this awesome Monday night.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, always a fun time.
Yeah, always. And if anyone has anything they want us to talk about in the chat, throw it out there. We're always open to suggestions. We're kind of just freelancing it right now. But other than that, Robbie, everything's been good with you. I guess now with everything's happening with Diamond, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah, Diamond, this is the last week. If you haven't heard yet, this is the last week of new comics. In the UK, they're not even getting this week's comics.
Wow.
Yeah, but we're going to get them tomorrow. And as soon as shops are able to get them, they're able to sell them. So they'll be on sale immediately. There's like 30% of the LCSs out there are forcibly closed down right now because of like state restrictions and stuff like that. We feel like maybe we're not too far away from that. So we've been trying to stay open, limiting the number of people in the store, doing curbside pickup, doing shipping, really kind of hitting those notes. It's a real hard time right now for a lot of comic shops. And with the news that there's going to be no new product, because I'm not speaking on the particulars of my business or anybody else's, but I guarantee you that most local comic shops like live and breathe on the new comic books that get released. That's like the biggest seller. You know, everybody's in there for the new stuff. This is a great time to check out old school stuff, check out their eBay stores, things like that. Get caught up, pick up some trades. The one thing I don't know is if digital sales are going to continue. They haven't said anything about that. Now, Diamond has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
You know, so
I was going to say, for those digital readers out there, you know, things might still be normal.
Yeah, but I think that would be a terrible thing if the digital continued when the print comics are not going to be available.
And I've been reading a lot more digitally myself. So, you know, with the little guy that's just came into my life, you know, I've had to actually cancel the pull list and, like, you know, pretty much stopped collecting comics. So, I mean, the only way I'm reading right now is digital. And just in case,
you'll come back though, Chad. You know you will.
Well, you know, of
it's
course,
like The Godfather, man. Once you thought you were out, they pulled you back in
within due time, and hopefully when he's old enough where he can be reading, you know, and it'll be cool to like go to the LCS and start a pool again with him.
Hell yeah.
You know, and my pull won't really be about me. It's going to be about like, all right, what do you want to read? And then hopefully I can still find 1 or 2 titles.
You know, I see that in my job all the time at the shop. You know, fathers or mothers coming in with their sons and daughters, starting a pull list, reconnecting with that. Like my good buddy Robbie, my name's Robbie as well, but my other buddy Robbie, us Robbies, we stick together. But that's how he got back into the industry. You know, he was into it in the 90s, and then he came back because his son was into it, and then it just brought him and sucked him right back in. And it's cool to see that. And I think that's great because comic book love is generational. I was introduced into comics by my stepfather when I was like 4 or 5 years old, and he was in the Navy overseas. He would pick up comics whenever he would like be able to, and he would ship them to me. And I would just read those comic books. And I've been reading them since I've been like 4, 5, 6 years old. And I've just been fascinated with them ever since. So that's a cool thing, man, because I see a lot of people that do that, and it seems magical to them to be able to rediscover it through a child's eyes.
Yeah, and well, I guess since you brought it up, how I was introduced to comics was a good friend of mine who actually was a few years older than me. He used to like babysit me, and rest in peace because he actually passed away a few years ago. But he introduced me into comics, and it's just one of those things. Like he would kind of like babysit me, watch me. He would bring over comics and like give comics to my brother and I, and that's kind of like how we were introduced to all these characters that we love today. And literally like 2 of the characters or actually 3 of the characters that he gave me comics to are like on my Mount Rushmore. So it's just pretty cool. It's without Charles, shout out to Charles, rest in peace. I know you're still watching over me, but yeah, man, if it wasn't for him, my interest and love for comics wouldn't be there. And I still own those comics today. I still have them in like, my little closet where I keep my comics now that are little 90s comics. So
that's awesome.
They're not necessarily mine anymore. Oh, I see those 2 books behind you, man. Those are 2 hot books right now in the speculation market.
Yeah, I know. And that's for some reason I was like, let's be an asshole and just throw them up behind me for this week's stream. I don't know why.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's ridiculous. I mean, first of all, there's great books. I pick up Batman here and there. I haven't been super onto it because Tom King's run's kind of up and down. But I've been on board for Hell Arisen the entire time. There's no way I was going to give up my issue number 3 because I don't give an F about Punchline right now. But Hell Arisen is just a culmination and a bridge from all the metal into Justice League stuff that Scott Snyder and James Tynion's been doing. And just it's a bridge into death metal. And I am so ready for that. So I hope that Diamond starts shipping comics again by the time death metal comes out because they're really messing with me right now.
Now, I guess I hopped off of, Tom King's Batman run as well. And that, unfortunately, before, I guess, Batman got hot again, I had to cancel my pull. So I don't have those 2 in my collection. And I don't know necessarily what's going on right now in the Batman world. Yeah, I might have to figure something out digitally and make that happen. But
yeah, I wanted to send you some codes, but they don't have codes in them anymore. DC doesn't do that. That sucks.
Yeah, I wonder why they don't do that. Oh, probably because, the DC app.
Yeah, but they show up there like what, 6 months later?
I don't know.
Or is it a year? It's a year or 6 months. But
I have a buddy that let me use his app, so I have to go and log in and see what's up with it, and I could probably give you that answer. But I don't know, man.
Yeah, I used to have it, but then I stopped because I was like, I'm not using this right now.
Well, I've been doing a lot of Marvel reading, and I guess it looks like I'm a Marvel freak with everything behind me and my shirt on.
I was going to ask, you more of a Marvel guy than you are DC?
It's not necessarily that. I'll say this. When I got back into comics, it was just at the end of New 52, right? And right before Rebirth, and I was totally in on DC. Like the storylines were a lot better. You had Jeff Johns still in the game. Scott Snyder, I thought, was killing Batman. And I think after Rebirth, when Jeff Johns kind of like stepped away from comics, and then we kind of had, Tom King take over Batman and all this other stuff. And really, I think since Bendis jumped from Marvel to DC, the storylines from DC just haven't been up to par for me, at least. And I kind of just stopped pulling DC books. So I'm a little lost, I guess, in the DC universe right now. And as you're saying, I guess it's leading up to dark metal. But not to backtrack, but when metal came out,
yeah,
I was like, this is cool, but this would have been so much cooler right after New 52. Like after Rebirth and All-Star Batman, like I was so removed from everything that happened in New 52 and everything that was connected with metal that I was like, I don't even care about this, man. Like that was just me as a reader. I'm like, if you would have given this to me right after New 52, like, with Snyder's run, I probably would have been just totally about it and like right into it. But it was probably a good 2, almost 3 years from that run. And when you're reading it, it's just like, okay, what is all this again? Like, okay, yeah, I remember that. Like, I was just like, oh, this is why I don't care about this. Like, we're removed from this. What does this have to do with Rebirth?
Okay, yeah, I can get that. The problem that DC came up with was the idea that Doomsday Clock took longer than they wanted it to, right? So, they did Rebirth, and that was cool. But so they did the New 52, and that's yet another like crisis event Flashpoint was, and it rebooted the universe and all that jazz. And then they want to correct some things and bring back some of the more old school ideas. So they do DC Rebirth. Doomsday Clock was supposed to come out and within a year kind of fix it all up, and then everything would realign. And then Doomsday Clock was very late, and it took 2 years for it to come out. Right?
Super late.
However, I personally don't care about the delay because every single issue was like some of Jeff Johns' and Gary Frank's best work ever. That book is astonishing. I love the scope of it. I love the idea of it. I love metal. And so metal's the kind of a culmination. They fought so hard to get it to be called metal. It was supposed to be called Dark Crisis. Scott Snyder has a reputation for fighting with editorial, right? And the corporate stuff. And metal, when I first started reading it, the first 2 issues, I was like, this is absurd. It's so stupid. I do not like it. And then I realized I was like, I just got to let go and enjoy it. And that's awesome. So here's the thing that happened basically was when Rebirth happened, everybody thought that the direction of DC was going to be dictated by Doomsday Clock. But what it turned out to be was that it was going to be dictated by what Scott Snyder's doing on Justice League. So the direction of DC right now has been built up in Scott Snyder's Justice League run, which I think is exceptional and my second favorite Justice League run right behind Grant Morrison. And I think it's Grant Morrison-esque in its scope. It's big, it's huge, and now it's just about to blow up in death metal, and I'm excited.
All right. Well, I dropped his Justice League run around issue number 10. I was just everything connecting back to the source wall. It was just a slow build and burn, and I felt like nothing was really happening. I was like, yo, Snyder, I don't know what happened, but I feel like since you hopped off of New 52 Batman, you have not been the same.
See, I disagree. I think he got better because what happened was he actually, while he was writing metal, him and James Tynion and Joshua Williamson, they got to meet Grant Morrison at like a San Diego Comic-Con or something. And I don't know what happened behind those closed doors, but I wouldn't be against the idea that Grant Morrison gave them some kind of mystical and drug-induced experience. But like the writing on Scott Snyder's writing expanded so much in its like scope, right? So his Batman run is great, and metal came up, and all the Justice League stuff, it all kind of built up out of that. But it just got wild. It got crazy. Are you a Grant Morrison fan, Chad?
I guess yes and no. Some things I like, some things I don't like. I'm like, okay, this is way too out there.
Yeah. What I think Scott Snyder was heavily influenced by Grant Morrison at the middle of metal. They even brought Morrison to come in, and Morrison explained the idea of the multiverse, like his idea of it, his idea of comic books and comic book mythology and how it ties into our real life. And I can see the moment that it happened. And he even like co-wrote, and we got credited for co-writing one of the issues of one of the tie-ins. I think it was The Wild Hunt or whatever. I don't remember what it's called. But that's what happened. So if you don't, Scott Snyder went from Scott Snyder to a Morrison infused Scott Snyder. And Morrison's my favorite writer in any media, like any medium. Like it's my favorite. Right. So, I love it. This story's gotten so big and epic and just giant, and Luther's a villain and the Batman who laughs. I'm like so into all of that. I'm just obsessed. That's just me though.
I was more interested in the Grim Knight, and I don't know, the Batman who laughed. I feel like it's like, I feel like that fell short. I mean, for me personally, but maybe I should go back and revisit it. And sometimes I do that with comics, and I might have a different perspective. But to me, though, out of Metal, though, all those one shots were money for me. I felt like those were more interesting to me than the actual, Metal storyline and everything like that. Like all those different Batmans and those different universes and stuff like that. The Red Flash and the Devastator and, those different Batmans were just, super badass, with Batman being one of my favorite characters. So,
they were really cool ideas. And those one shots were cool. Those foil covers were so badass.
Yeah, they seriously were. So,
yeah, I love it. I love the whole scope of it. I really do. I just think it's super fun stuff. We got differing opinions. I see in the chat and all that kind of stuff. But it happens. That's the joy of comic books. I will say this though, when I first started reading Scott Snyder's Justice League, when it first started, I read each issue like a multiple amount of times as they were coming out. And that really helped me because the first time you read it, you're like, oh, it seems like a pseudo Hickman-y idea for Justice League. But then I started piecing things together. And then now that run is over and like what happened at the end of Hell Arisen #4, which was the final issue that set up Death Metal. Oh man, I'm super, super excited.
All right, well, like I said, maybe I should.
I think you should read. I think you should reread the Justice League stuff.
And then maybe I might change my mind. So I'll definitely check it out. Like I said, I've been reading digitally, so it's not like I can't obtain those things right now. So
I'm sure during all this stuff coming up with Diamond not releasing the printed comics to shops and things like that, I'm sure that they'll start doing more digital sales on like Comixology and stuff like that. So what's crazy is we've heard word from most comic book publishers in this. Like Valiant told everybody pencils down. Vault said that they were going to release nothing in April, and like Image said they would make everything returnable. Marvel said that they would offer a deeper discount, and they did. Boom has said that they're going to offer full returnability, and they're going to stagger out production schedules, so not so many books are coming out. And now the complete shutdown of, the floppy comic book market, which is unprecedented. DC has not said anything, and we know because I saw a Bleeding Cool report, but DC's printer in Canada has to shut down for 3 weeks tomorrow.
Wow!
But it's really weird that we haven't heard anything from DC yet. I bet Dan DiDio's like, y'all deal with that, right? He's just chilling somewhere like, yep, that's y'all's problem now. Jim Lee's sweating. He's like, damn, I'm supposed to handle this.
I like Scarpad's comment right there. Immediately, new digital books should be 50% off print cover. And that might get people to start buying digitally. I mean, I know that's what they're scared of, that, it would kill the print run. But, I mean, at least right now, during this, like, pandemic, why not?
Well, okay. That's tough. That's tough because the idea is that Diamond's holding these books, right? So that when LCSs get to resume normal operation, these books are going to be released, right? But now, like, we need to hear from the big two. We need to hear from Marvel and DC and see what they're going to be saying, right? Because if they continue to release them digitally, that's cool for fans that want to have those books. But as far as the LCSs, it kind of screws them, right? Because it's not an idea of we're just going to skip y'all. It's an idea of like, if the digitals continued on, the LCSs are already hurt so much financially by the situation. So many industries out there, the bar industry, the restaurant industry, the airline industry. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, the economy in America right now is grinding to a halt, and I don't know. Basically what I should say is the LCSs make comic books. Like, I think they're the cornerstone of comic books, and I think they need to be treated as such. But I'm also biased because I work at a comic shop. So,
yeah, and I know. And I don't want to put you out of a job either, too, Robbie. But I'm just saying, I think right now it would be maybe a good way to, just, introduce digital comics to people, and then also just be a way for, like I said, readers to be able to just to access it, and, at a affordable price, especially with, so many people not being able to work right now.
I think it would be a really cool idea to severely discount, especially like graphic novel collections and other comic books and stuff. But I don't know if Diamond's not releasing these comic books. I think we already know that Vault and Boom and a few others are not releasing much in April now because of this. So I don't know. I don't know. It's an interesting thing because I want to see these stories. I want to read them. I want to know what's going on. I want to talk about them. I want to continue the weekly comic book review every week. I've never missed a week in over 3 years, even when I had a busted tooth and I had it pulled. So I don't want to miss it. But at the same time, I'm like, I really would hate to see so many shops have to close down because they can't keep up with it. But I don't know. That's like I said, I'm kind of biased on that. But I would love to see massive sales on digital. I would like to see digital explode because I think if more people bought half their stuff digital and bought their real good stuff that they really wanted to keep in a physical copy, I think that would be a good balance. And I'm cool with digital. I like digital comics. It's a great way to get comic books. You can buy Hulk 181 super cheap digitally.
Yeah. Or me personally, right now I'm using Comixology, and for $6 a month, I get an access to a whole bunch of just, back story of library, and then if I want to buy a digital comic, I get it discounted, I think at 30%, which is still kind of nice. I'm like, okay, I'm not spending the full price on it, if I really, really want it. But, the $6 a month gives me enough to where all right, I can read it right now. It can, what stories haven't I read yet? And then there's certain things books that I have slabbed, and I'm like, all right, is this on there? Oh, snap, I can read this. I don't even have to worry about that. I don't even have to buy it. I can just read it. Like my Avengers 8, when I got my first appearance of Kang, I was like, how am I going to read this? I went on Comixology. Oh, it's there. All right, cool. I went ahead, read it. I'm like, all right, cool. Now I know what's up,
Yeah. I'm a member of Comixology as well. Comixology Unlimited, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And just the access between Marvel, DC, and indie. And that's what I love about it. Like when people ask, oh, do you have Marvel Unlimited or this and that? I'm like, you know what? Honestly, I feel like the best way to go is Comixology. You get the best of all the comic book world,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this the number one source for digital comics is Comixology. Yeah. And I love that service. In fact, just recently we rewatched the Spawn movie and we had a discussion about it here on the channel. And it made me want to reread some of those Spawn comics from the early 90s, right? And I was like, man, I cannot find my number one right now. I got everything nice and neat, but I don't know where everything is. So I couldn't find my Spawn number one. But you know what? Comixology had it on unlimited. So I got to read it, right?
Yeah, perfect.
Super cool. At the same time, though, if they continue on digital sales, Comixology will be the mostly the sole benefactor. Not the sole benefactor, but that's the majority of the digital market, right? That's owned by Amazon. I think supporting LCS is a little bit more important, maybe, than Comixology because that's owned by Amazon.
No, I hear you.
Like the richest dude in the world.
I hear you, but I'm just saying that's why
they should discount their prices, and
and like I said, just right now with the way the world is currently, just to allow people to be able to read at a discounted price for those especially that can't work. I know there's a lot of people out there that can't work, and I'm praying and shout out to all of you because hopefully all this passes over so everyone can get back to normal because that's what we all need right now. So
wouldn't it be cool if they did something too where they would releasing them digitally and maybe at a discounted rate, but you could get them, but it would be some kind of future credit towards picking it up physically at a comic shop once things resume or something like that. But it'd be interesting. That'd be interesting to see. What's going to be crazy is that the comic book industry is not the most solid industry, and every single industry has been hit. The movie industry, the music industry, everything, the touring industry,
food industry.
Yeah, the food industry, everything is crazy. My lady is a server, and she's not working right now because they're all shut down and it's only takeout only and things like that. You don't need as much staff, right?
And my wife is a teacher, man, and that's even been a big adjustment because they're trying to figure out how they can work and teach from home, via webcam and all that. Like, and shout out to her because she's making it happen and preparing to teach these kids. Most kids are on like spring break right now, but like schools are trying to like make sure that they still somewhat learn,
Not in Alabama.
No, not in Alabama.
They were like, well, not everybody has access to the internet or laptop, so no, they're just off. And I'm like, really?
Yeah,
but I think most parents are trying to like homeschool their kids and things like that because there may not be Kansas already canceled the whole school year for the year. So like in the UK, they were talking about school may not come back till September. And I'm not, this is obviously not a news channel or anything like that, but some projections say that this is going to go throughout the whole summer, which is crazy. And I'm a sports fan, right? And it's affecting that too.
I'm a huge sports fan myself.
You're a soccer player, right?
I play soccer on the weekends, but I've only played once since little man has been born. But before that, I used to play every weekend, sometimes 3 times a week. But yeah, man, I love, getting out on the pitch, scoring some goals. But outside of that, I watch, basketball, football, baseball. The only thing right now that's still active, I don't know if you've noticed this, but on like FS1 or FS2, like real late, probably like 9 or 10 o'clock Eastern, maybe 11 o'clock Eastern, Australian football. And I'm addicted, bro. And it's got cool rules. It's a little bit of everything. It's got like a little soccer, football, basketball. There's like jump balls. You got to dribble. Like, it's pretty interesting, man. Like, so I would check it out because they're playing in front of empty stadiums right now, but it's still going. So that's the one thing I've been watching is Australian football.
Oh man, I definitely got to check that out then because I've been fiending. Yesterday ESPN2 was doing the Ocho all day,
and that was pretty cool too.
I watched as much as I could.
Yeah,
but I've always loved it when they do that because I love
juggling everything.
I've
bro.
never been more amazed by juggling in my life, man.
Bro,
and the juggle dodge, like the dodge juggle, whoever came up that dude that came up with that is a genius. Oh my goodness,
crazy! And then the fencing,
the lightsaber fencing,
yeah.
Everything. Yeah, dude. That's so crazy. I was incredibly fascinated with the cornhole tournament. I was like, that's a game I see tons of people play. I've even gone out there and just like tried to do it. I never knew the rules or anything like that. But after I got so into that, then out of everything, I watched cherry pit spitting. I watched the stupid robot fighting. I watched so much of that jazz, right? It was the Tetris tournament. That thing was amazing and exhilarating. Oh my God. These guys that are the top-notch Tetris players in the world, I was getting anxiety just watching it because I play Tetris and it's a hard game to play.
Yeah, and
these dudes are crazy.
Those kids still killing a Rubik's Cube, bro.
Oh my God. The record's like 4 seconds to solve a Rubik's Cube.
Like, can you imagine that?
No. My lady's brother, her little brother can do it in 12 seconds. And I'm
it takes me like a month.
Usually, what happens though is they like, figure out how to.
I work on it like a little bit every day. I'm like, all right, my brain can't take anymore. Just put it down. And I come back.
I researched it one time because I wanted to know, especially when her brother was learning it. So I looked it up and like they get it into certain patterns. They know that if this color's here and this color's here,
they know the pattern.
Yeah, you just do these moves. I have a Rubik's Cube of the Lament configuration from Hellraiser. It's the cube, right? And I've never changed it. Because I was like, first of all, if I move it, I will never get it back to its original form. And if anybody does, they'll open up a portal to a hell torture dimension, right? And you don't want that.
No one wants that.
You don't want that. You don't want that.
Nope.
You mentioned earlier your Mount Rushmore. What is your Mount Rushmore of comic book characters? Heroes.
Okay, because I categorize them. I have my
you have to.
I have my anti-heroes. I have my, my villains as well. So my heroes, hands down, are Batman, Hulk, Thor, and Wolverine. Those are my 4. Like,
nice.
As a kid growing up, you could probably hear it. I'm a product of the 90s. And I guess before I even got the comic books, I saw the TV shows, and I also love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's another thing that I'm huge on as well. And that's because of the TV shows. But yeah, man, Batman the animated series, X-Men, the animated TV show, of course, just Hulk, I guess, he was always one of my favorite characters just because of him being green. Green's one of my favorite colors, and him just raging out and just being an awesome just character. I don't know. I've always loved Hulk. My brother has always made fun of me because he goes, "You're just like Bruce Banner. Like you're always cool and chill, but like when you get mad, you like straight Hulk out." I always laugh about that, but and then Wolverine, of course, because X-Men, man, like I can't get enough. And then I guess Thor would be the one that just over my years of reading, I've just realized like I just really enjoy Thor runs. Like Jason Aaron was a big part of that, but also the Simonson run, like on Thor, like just phenomenal. You know what I mean? Like
I was going to ask, what's your favorite Thor run?
Honestly, it's probably Jason Aaron's run.
Yeah, I'm almost right there. I want to do a big reread to see if it edges out Simonson. But I mean, the Holy Trinity is Simonson, Aaron, and Kirby.
Oh,
my God.
Hands down.
Yeah. And then you can add in, I even think Dan Jurgens' run from the late 90s, early 2000s is really, really good. Very solid. Probably his best work outside of Superman, I would say.
Okay.
Have you ever read that stuff?
No, I have not. I got to check that out.
Do you remember when they Onslaught happened and they shunted off the Fantastic Four and the Avengers to the Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee universes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when they brought them back, Dan Jurgens did a Thor run. It started with John Romita Jr. on the artwork, and then Andy Kubert joined in, and that's where Odin, for another time, Odin died in there. But it's the first time that Thor actually took over as the king of Asgard. And some really great stuff in that run. Really good stuff.
All right. I got to check that out for sure.
That's a really good. That's a good Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. Wolverine, Thor, Hulk, and
Batman. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I guess, with the Batman, it's kind of like cliche with DC, but just as a kid, I always loved Batman.
Who doesn't love Batman?
I mean, he has the one superpower that everyone wants, and that's money. Yeah. That's money.
Money and a badass cape.
And, I know I love Spider-Man, but I'm more about Spider-Man's villains for myself. It's, and I know anyone could be behind the mask on Spider-Man, but I would still want to be Batman more than I would want to be Spider-Man. There's just something about Batman,
Batman's dope. And Spider-Man has money problems and Batman doesn't,
Yeah, he's never had money problems. Definitely not.
I see some people in here showing off their Mount Rushmore of comic book heroes. So please, everybody else chime in.
And if you're watching this on the replay, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And everybody hit the thumbs up button and all that jazz. Subscribe to Pop Culture Philosophers and 90MF Comics.
I appreciate that, Rob.
YouTube is 90.
You know it, man. I just hit 600 subscribers. So shout out to the comic book community. The comic book community is incredible. I appreciate you guys. They've been taking care of me with AOKs because they know I haven't been able to actually, collect comic books and buy them. So some people have been sending me comics and putting together, like, I guess, you've seen all the auctions, and I don't know, Discovery Bay, JB, Discovery Bay Comics, bro. He does the dollar pop-up shop, and people put together an actual bin for me, and they're getting ready to send me like a box of comics.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's super awesome. And just in case you guys hear little 90, he might wake up. I might have to go attend to him and bring him over here. But when he, I guess, is ready, I'll make that happen. Just in case. Just
little 90 is always welcome here at PCP.
All right, beautiful. Thank you for that, Robbie. But just a little heads up for you and all the beautiful viewers out there. But yeah, man, just trying to do my thing. 90MF Comics. Check us out.
Heck
Tomorrow night we'll be live 9 p.m. If you're you have one more week.
I have one more week.
All right. Cool.
Plus, we have severe weather here in North Alabama tomorrow. So with my dog, it's going to be really a crazy time. Ben says the Mount Rushmore of comic book heroes is Superman, Batman, Captain America, Spider-Man. A very safe answer, but a very solid answer.
Yeah, those are great answers as well.
Michael says Batman, Flash, Captain America, and Spider-Man. Great ones. Sean says Superman, Spawn, Wolverine, and Deadpool.
All right.
Interesting. Batman, Spider-Man, Flash, and Daredevil for Gerardo.
I love Daredevil too, man. He would be like, an honorable mention. but he didn't make the Rushmore, unfortunately.
I really like Chris's answer. Swamp Thing, The Thing,
Dang.
Silver Surfer, and Howard the Duck.
All right, Chris.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
All great characters as well.
Ben says Iron Man, Thor, Cap, and Hulk. That's a Marvel zombie right there.
That's a great Avengers comic book.
If I had to pick a Mount Rushmore of comic book heroes, it would be Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, The Thing, and the Human Torch.
Okay.
The Fantastic Four.
All right. No, all of them, right?
That's my favorite comic book ever, is the Fantastic Four. That's my jam.
That's your Rushmore. That's fine.
Yep, that's my Rushmore. If people think that's cheating, then I could say Aquaman, Blade, Night Thrasher, and the Green Ranger, because he's a comic book hero now. So
it's true.
Let's do it.
Yeah, man. Lord Jackon, bro. Lord Jackon.
Yeah, I mean, I think that stuff's pretty cool.
No, I loved me some Shattered Grid. That was some great reading.
The new stuff's really good too. I need to check and see if they do a digital code, because the new Power Rangers book, the Necessary Evil, dude, it is so good. They're telling the story in between of how Tommy really became the White Ranger, why Zach, Trini, and Jason actually left the Power Rangers. They're really building up some new mythology again, and they're doing it. It's even better than Shattered Grid. It really is.
I gotta check it out for sure, man.
And it's about to blow up into a Power Rangers version of a DC Crisis.
Okay.
Yeah, it really is. So that's really fun stuff.
Nice.
We got some more answers here. Kirk says Wolverine, Batman, Spider-Man, Daredevil. Herminio says Spider-Man, Batman, Wolverine, and Ghost Rider.
All right.
Chris says right on, Robbie. Fantastic Four. Hell yeah.
I mean, the original team, man. You can't just. I can't argue it. I'm not gonna hate on it.
Well, we got some more. S Squared says Superman, Flash, Green Lantern, Aquaman. DC fan there. Aquaman's one of my favorites, though. I love Aquaman. He's probably my favorite DC character.
Probably underrated. Very powerful. Kind of OP in a sense. Probably doesn't get the love that he deserves. I mean, when you think about it, he can control the entire ocean. That's pretty goddamn powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the globe is pretty much made up of water. So, I mean.
Have you ever read the Jeff Johns Aquaman run?
Yes, of course, bro. The Trench. Man. Come on, man.
That stuff's so good, right? Did you ever read the Peter David stuff from the 90s when he had the harpoon hand and the long hair and the beard?
No, but I probably should check that out because he has a harpoon hand, and
it's so 90s and cheesy.
I was gonna say that sounds 90s, bro. Yeah. That sounds so 90s.
It very much is, but it's really, really fun. Christopher says Batman, Daredevil, Hal Jordan, and a grown-up Franklin Richards. Hell yeah, hell yeah. The question, Lewis, was what's your Mount Rushmore of comic book heroes, superheroes?
Do you have villains? You want to do villains?
I could do villains. That's easy. The only problem is the next podcast we're doing, and I don't know when we're doing it. I'm going to see if I can convince the guys to do a stream here, and we can just do it that way. But the next podcast was going to be Bond, but then the coronavirus outbreak postponed Bond. And then we were going to do comic book villains, in which at the end of every podcast we do, Pop Culture Philosophers, we do a top 5 of whatever the subject is. So if I do my Mount Rushmore of comic book villains, I will kind of reveal my top 5, but really I don't care. It's Dr. Doom, Lex Luthor, Darkseid, and Green Goblin. Anybody that knows anybody that knows me or watches this channel can figure that out pretty easily.
Okay. Mine would definitely be Thanos, Carnage, Darkseid, and then Dr. Doom.
See, Dr. Doom's got to be on it, and so does Darkseid, right?
Yeah, bro, for sure. There's no doubt about it. And then being a product of the 90s, I love like I said, I love the villains of Spider-Man more than I love, actual Spider-Man, and I love me some Carnage.
I'm a huge symbiote fan, and Carnage, Maximum Carnage was perfect for me, and Lethal Protector. Oh my god!
Yeah. And then my anti-heroes are Venom, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Punisher, and then lastly, I don't know if there's a fourth one that I can think of that would be an anti-hero.
I haven't even thought about anti-heroes. Let me think.
I guess Red Hood. Red Hood's cool with the whole. I mean, maybe it's kind of weak, but I'm just trying to throw a little DC love.
It's not weak. It's a popular character, so that makes sense.
Yeah, I know. But it's
Anti-heroes, I would probably go Punisher.
For sure.
That's obvious. Venom.
I mean,
for sure.
Come on, bro. Mike Zeck Punisher right there.
Yeah. Venom and Punisher for sure.
And where Mike Zeck signed it is perfect. His signature is beautiful. Like he's got one of those.
I've got a book over there signed by him. I've got my Secret Wars and I got a Punisher. I don't remember what it's called, but it's the name of it. But it's one of the graphic novels that he did back in the 80s, and it's a hardcover graphic novel. Yeah. Venom, Punisher, Constantine.
Oh, Constantine's a great one.
Oh, I got to come up with a fourth one. Fourth anti-hero. Can I Jesse Custer from Preacher? Does that work?
Yeah, that works. Why not?
Sure, let's just go with that until I come up with a better one. What else would there be? Well, I mean, some would maybe consider Doom or Magneto, but screw that. I don't think that counts.
Yeah, I mean, you can do maybe modern day Magneto, but I wouldn't. Yeah, they're villains if at the core. So,
man, I'm stumped on the fourth one, to be honest.
That's why I went Red Hood, and as a Batman fan, I'm like, at least I'm throwing some.
I hate the Red Hood. I'd go Huntress.
Okay, Huntress is cool.
Yeah.
That's actually a great pick.
Helena Bertinelli Huntress. Yeah. That's she's an anti-hero. She kills. She does all that jazz. Yeah. There we go. I like it. And I get a woman on the list finally, aside from Sue.
All right, then I'll go Catwoman. Selena Kyle.
Oh, okay. That's a good one. Good one.
I've always had, the hots for Selena Kyle. That's for sure. We'll see.
Who hasn't, right? Bruce has. His whole damn career, apparently. Arminio says Fantastic Four recently became my favorite team over X-Men.
Okay.
By a hair. We got to work on that. Justice League, X-Men, Avengers, Teen Titans. Did I cheat? Oh, yeah. Okay. Top four. How about your Mount Rushmore comic book teams? We got some. While you're thinking about that, we got some villains.
Yeah,
Magneto, Dr. Doom, Thanos, and Venom. That's great.
Yeah, that is a great one. Thinking of teams.
Look at this. Absorbing Man, Wrecker, Electro, and Batroc.
I like Absorbing Man a lot. That's a great one. Ghost Rider.
Carnage, Punisher. Lex Luthor. Hell yeah.
Now, mine was Cosmic Ghost Rider, just to be specific. Cosmic Ghost Rider, Punisher, and Venom. Those are my three.
You got Frank Castle on there twice. That's cheating.
That's not cheating, bro. Definitely not. That's cheating. Bro, there's a difference because Frank Castle Punisher is just ruthless. He doesn't care. There's no sense of humor. He's very dry, cut to the point. We're making, brutal. We're getting things done.
Yeah.
Cosmic Ghost Rider, on the other hand, is a whole nother character, and I love what Donny Cates has done with him. And
slice a little bit of Deadpool in there, but take some of the annoyance out, and you get Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Bro, beautiful, and that's why I have the Greg Horn print right behind me. So,
that's Greg Horn, eh?
Yeah, it's signed by Greg Horn as well. Sorry,
nice.
A little show off, but hey,
it happens. We got to show off.
And well, behind these things, actually, I mean. Yeah, we got nothing but time, right? People are quarantined. They're just watching us.
I get all the time in the world, buddy. I just got to go to work tomorrow morning.
Cool. So behind here, this is a commission piece that I won from JD Comics. Shout out to JD Comics out here on YouTube. You can go check them out. But I won a contest of his, and Lazana Art. You can go follow him on Instagram. But he did this custom piece for me. JD's like, yo, who's your favorite character? And I couldn't decide from my Mount Rushmore. So I'm like, can I get a Venomized Hulk? And he's like, yeah, sure, bro. So I got this Venomized Hulk.
Oh, sweet.
And this was all before the whole...
and he's naked.
Yeah, right? This is before the absolute carnage thing, but this looks pretty dope, and it's pretty cool little custom piece that I got done by Lazana Art, and JD Comics hooked me up with. So, and I probably should flip that around one day, but, I love me that beautiful color of Cosmic Ghost Rider.
That's really nice.
Yeah, I don't know. And then behind this one, next one's pretty cool. So shout out to my boy, Jim Boatwright, and go follow him on YouTube if you guys can. Incredible artist, and you can go follow him on Instagram too. Boatwright Comics, Boatwright Family and Comics is his Instagram, and I believe his YouTube, Boatwright Family and Comics. He's an incredible artist. He does commission pieces, and he did this Carnage piece for me, man. And this is just some great stuff, man. And there's a lot of great artists out there that, you know, are up and coming and local, so to speak, that you guys should go check out, man. But go check out my boy Jim Boatwright.
That's nice. I like that.
Oh, bro, so good. I was blown away when I was sent it, bro. Like, blown away. He killed it. Shout out to my boy Jim.
Carnage is one of my favorites.
Oh, I know. I saw you unbox that figurine one time, the action figure.
Oh, the unmasked one?
Yeah.
I had that on my wall forever, and I was like, I'm gonna open the hell out of that. Yeah, I love that. I always wanted that when I was a kid, because you could pull his mask off and he's Cletus Cassidy. It's still. Where is it? I knocked down some stuff. That one right there.
Oof, beautiful.
The head looks a little tiny, but whatever. Yeah, I love Carnage. I love Venom. Oh God, I love all that stuff. Hey, we got Will from Hero and the Kitten here. What's up, Will? How are you doing, buddy?
Yo, what's up, Hero and the Kid? What's up, Will? Yo, shout out to him, man. I got a little shout out on their last video, man.
Oh, nice.
They did
That's
a little
great channel. Everybody should subscribe to that.
Definitely, man. And every Sunday night they bring on somebody new to, you know, they interview him. It's, you know, awesome stuff. And no, I got a little shout out.
I haven't gotten my invite yet, by the way. Yeah.
Neither have I. I'm waiting.
I know.
You know,
we're patiently waiting, Will.
It's cool. It's cool. You know,
We're
we'll
not
wait.
mad or nothing.
But I mean, I work Sunday night, so I completely understand if they can't hit me up. Not to worry. Robbie, on the other hand, he might want that invite. But no, it was cool. They had their
squeeze it in. Maybe I could squeeze it in, but I'm not mad. It's what it is.
Their newest video, though, man, their 2020 want list was pretty cool. And I guess one of the books that I showed the other night on the Mega Power Hour on the Comic Head 84 channel is a Donny Cates Doctor Strange book, 381. It's when Donny Cates takes over Doctor Strange, and he has that, 11, I want to say it's about 11 books, right?
Something like that, plus Damnation.
Yeah, and great read. And that 381 is the first appearance of Bats the dog, and they put that on their list, and then they said, shout out to 90MFComics. And I was like, oh, pretty cool, man. So thank you guys for that.
Bats the dog is one of the best new characters of the last 5 years.
Bro, I'm with you there. And I would say outside of that, in the last 15 to 20 years, my favorite newest character is Damian Wayne, just personally.
Oh, hell yeah.
So
kind of created by Grant Morrison, but, in a way, because he kind of borrowed from Barr, an idea from the Son of the Demon graphic novel or whatever.
No, for sure.
Oh, yeah, it works. Oh, God.
I will say I love his Batman and Robin run where Dick is Batman. And I feel like that dynamic is so much better than Bruce and Damian in a sense. But that run is so good. And that's what I'm saying. I love Morrison, but then there's some things I'm like, okay, this is just way too out there for me.
Well, some of the ones that you think are a little too out there, let me know. And we'll do a live stream, and I will I will do a Teen Dog Shades night. I'll get metaphysical, and I'll explain them to you.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
I'll get really high. And I'll just tell you this is what Grant Morrison's doing, bro.
No, bro, I mean, I will say his first, I was on board with his Green Lantern run at first, but then it started to just really get out there. I'm like, okay.
It's so out there, and I love it. I love it. I love it because Grant Morrison's I'm Grant Morrison. Who's going to tell me what to do?
It's true. It has that buddy space cop feel.
It does. It starts off so simple too. It's almost deceiving how simple it starts.
And that's what it had me. And then probably I want to say, tell me if I'm wrong. I want to say somewhere in that 6 to 8 range. And that's when it started to okay, this is where I'm
I thought issue 3 started getting a little Morrison-y when it was God that was stealing the planets.
Yeah. But I still thought that was cool. I laughed.
I still liked it. I loved my favorite thing in that issue is when Hal Jordan's looming over the planet Earth, being you need to all go back to your homes. Sound familiar, by the way? And they're all you fascist pig, don't tell us what to do. I love it. It got really weird. It got wild. And dude, season 2 from the get-go is crazier than season 1. I love it though. I love that stuff. There may be a few Morrison books that I don't really like, but my favorite Fantastic Four is my favorite comic book property. But my favorite comic book ever, if I only could have one complete comic book series, it would probably still be Fantastic Four, but the Invisibles, by Grant Morrison, which is really challenging for a lot of people. It's challenging for me. And every time I read it, I pick up so much more. The Invisibles changed my life. That book is like biblical scripture to me. You know what I'm saying? That book is like, and it's what The Matrix is kind of based on. The Invisibles is amazing, and it's so rich. You will always pick up something new from that book. And the first time you read it and get to the end, you're going to be so lost and confused. Don't worry. That's how we all were.
That's the point of it.
That is kind of the point of it. But then I'll tell you this though, when you leave the end of Invisibles confused as hell, and then when you first read the first page of Invisibles issue 1, and when you do your reread, you instantly know so much more than you knew before.
Okay.
That's how elaborate that book is, that the first page redefines the whole series on a second read.
Nice.
Isn't that crazy? I think it's crazy. I don't know. What's your favorite comic book run of all time?
That's so hard.
I know.
That's so hard, man.
Unless you're a comic book YouTuber and you have to think about these things all the time.
Yeah, I mean, and you read so many great, and you may know this, and as most people, it's an art. So it's really like, as someone that like, when someone, who's the greatest band of all time, or who's your favorite band of all time? I'm like, damn, that's so hard, because depending on what mood you're in, and like
Oasis.
You know, it's so hard. It's no matter what. Wonderwall,
yep.
24/7.
Always Oasis. Yeah. Not even kidding. Sometimes I go, well, Damon Albarn, Blur, you know, right there, right up there. I love it. I'm a big 311 fan. Cure, The Clash.
I love 311. I love some Cure. I love me some Clash. I mean, I love me some Zeppelin. I love me some Sabbath. I love Pink Floyd.
Yeah, we should definitely hang out sometime.
You know, I don't know. Like, I love Lynyrd Skynyrd. It's so hard for me to choose my favorite band. My favorite comic book run of all time, that's even harder. Come on, Robbie. But I guess when it comes to like a read that I think everyone should read, and I don't know, I think a good modern read, and this is not my favorite read of all time, but it just came to my head, and I think everyone should read it because I just think it's really, really good, and it's really well written, and most people can connect to it in a way because they either had someone that, you know, has gone through this, or they just have a family and you can just, you know, connect with it because you can only imagine of a family member in a sense. But God Country, that just, when you asked me that, it came straight to my head. I'm like, you know what, bro, I just feel like it's a good comic book that's a comic book, but it's not also like, it touches more than just comic books, you know?
Yeah. Someone last night on the live stream asked me to recommend them a list of good indie comics, and like I just started but then I was like, God Country.
Yeah, man.
That's such a great book, man.
And it's like the perfect amount of, you know, I guess issues, so to speak, and it's not too long, it's not too short. You can read it in a night sitting if you wanted to, or you can spread it out. But I don't know, that storyline comes to my head. I mean, of course, I don't know. I mean, I love Ed Brubaker's Winter Soldier. Like, the Captain America run was so good at that point.
I think that's the best Captain America run.
Hands down. Like, no one can. And I also love his Daredevil run. Like, Daredevil Yellow was so good.
It's a perfect follow up to Bendis as well. Yeah. Square says Flash by Mark Waid. That's a hell of a run. Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, that's a great one.
Alan Moore, yeah, for sure. There's so many. I don't know. It's so hard. I mean,
an easy one for me to pick is always Kirby and Lee's Fantastic Four.
Well,
exactly. And so I go easy on that. I love Grant Morrison's JLA run. I think that's an amazing run. The Invisibles, like I already said. I think Planetary is one of my absolute favorite comic books of all time by Warren Ellis and John Cassaday. I love that one. Those ones are so good, and they stand the test of time.
As you meant, I mean,
Sandman, you know, but Neil Gaiman. I mean, there's so many great ones, right?
I mean,
what's your Mount Rushmore of comic book writers?
I was gonna say Jeff Johns' Green Lantern Rebirth.
Yes, that whole run.
I mean, yeah, when you get into, like, you know,
all the way through Blackest Night,
Blackest Night, Darkest, you know, Day, just everything, man. Like, Mount Rushmore of writers, man, that is hard.
Why you think? I'll go ahead and do mine. Mine's easy. Grant Morrison, Warren Ellis, Alan Moore, Neil Gaiman.
Okay, no, Neil Gaiman's money, right? All right. For me, personally,
And Jonathan Hickman's trying to get his face added to the Mount Rushmore. He's trying to get in there.
So for me, I mean, I gotta throw Stan on there, just because if you don't have Stan, we don't have a lot of what we have going on here. But I also feel because of that, you gotta throw Jack on there.
Yep.
Not only was he an artist, but he was a writer. So if I'm gonna throw Stan on there, I'm gonna throw Jack on there. Third, I mean, I guess I'm a fangirl towards certain writers, like, modern day. And I guess this would be my fourth, I guess, if I had to put an order, you know what I mean? But I'm putting Jason Aaron on there, man. I think he's just so good. Like, I love everything that he's done. Like, I love his Thanos Rising run. I love, when he was, I love his current Avengers run. Of course, everything he's done with Thor. Southern Bastards is so good. And I want him to finish that,
His Wolverine and the X-Men run is amazing.
And I mean, of course he gets the credit, but maybe I feel like he's a little underrated. So he might be up there for me, like when it comes to like modern day, like writers. And then I guess the other one is probably the other one for me is going to be Jeff Johns. Like, he really got me back into comic books. Like, I can say that. Like, even though I'm reading more heavy Marvel right now, when I got back into comics, it was DC. It's because Jeff Johns was the golden child of DC, and he was like pretty much writing everything and was putting their whole comic book universe together. So
yeah,
those would be my Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Jeff Johns, and Jason Aaron, just to have a little bit of the past with a little bit of a modern.
All right, then. How about Mount Rushmore of comic book artists?
And I love Cates, though, too. Sorry.
Cates is great, too. And Jeff Lemire as well.
Jeff Lemire,
and Brian K. Vaughan. Yeah, there's a lot of great writers out there.
I mean,
I'm really happy that you mentioned Jack Kirby as a writer, because he created the Fourth World, like the New Gods. He created the Demon. He created all and not to mention all the Marvel stuff, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, to a certain degree, for sure. Like, Stan didn't think of all of it on his own. Like, he had input. I don't want to take away from Stan, but like they were.
Oh yeah, they're both responsible. They're the co-creators, So
he did Eternals, bro. He did Eternals. He did New Gods before New Gods, in a sense. That's what
he did do. Captain America without Stan Lee, though. He did that with Joe Simon, so that's nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Challengers of the Unknown. I mean, okay. So for my artists, and while you think of your artists and everybody else, throw in, because I see everybody throwing in. And I love that. I love seeing this conversation.
Yeah, I'm a fangirl for Cates, though. I just have to say, I'm a fangirl for Cates.
Come on. Have you read Buzzkill by Cates?
Amazing.
That's one of his. That's so amazing.
Have you read Ghost Fleet?
No, that's one I haven't, but I think I'm going to grab it tomorrow, because I think we got some time on our hands.
I have a trade that somebody in the comic book community, Caleb the Comic Smurf Murphy. I don't know if you remember him, but he was someone that used to be really active in the community, but he moved. But he actually AOK'd me a copy of that, and I don't know if it was ever single issue printed, but it was a trade, and it's signed by Cates, bro. And it's just, Ghost Fleet is so good. I recommend that to everyone.
Hell yeah.
So
my Mount Rushmore of comic book artists would be Jack Kirby, Mike Mignola, Will Eisner, and Frank Miller.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Neil Adams, there's John Buscema, there's Bernie Wrightson, there's a bunch more, but yeah, those ones, because they were so they're so important to innovating the comic book industry of their time.
No, I hear you. And for me, it's going to be Kirby. I'm putting Buscema up there for myself. Yeah. I have to.
John, right?
Yes, of course. I'm also going to go. I'm going Jim Lee, because he was just like, I'm a kid that grew up in the 90s. So
he's my favorite 90s artist, man.
And the X-Men comic books that were given to me were Jim Lee comic books, and of course that's just. And then the last one for me, this one's hard, man. See, even little 90 knows it's a hard one.
It's a hard one. He's like, this is a hard question.
It's a hard question. I know, little bud. I'll make you a bottle in a second. Lastly, Man. Alex Ross. What am I even thinking?
Oh man, I didn't even think about Alex Ross. You're right.
Alex Ross. I don't even know why it took me even so long to. And Alex Ross would be above Jim Lee. So that would be the Rushmore for sure. It would be Kirby, Buscema, Ross, Jim Lee.
Chris says Kirby, Wrightson, Steranko, and Klaus. Steranko and Klaus, great additions, to be honest. Yeah. Campbell, McFarlane, Jim Lee, and Perillo. Back to writers: Cates, David, Lee, and Fingers.
Peter David's a great bro. He's my favorite Hulk writer.
I met him this year or last year in October. I got him to sign some of my Ditko, Steve Ditko. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I thought about it. I also thought about Ramita, but I just,
Sienkiewicz is a great one too, Brett. There's another Alex Ross. When I met Peter David, I had a bunch of my Aquaman stuff that he did, and I was super excited. And I was like, "Hey, man, you turned me into an Aquaman fan. I loved him because of my superpowers toy, but you made me realize how BA he was." And he was just like, "Okay," and he signed it. And I was like, "Man, that's kind of disappointing, right?" So I went back a few hours later with my Star Trek novels that he had written that I had, and he chatted with me for like 15 minutes about Star Trek.
Oh, that's awesome!
I thought that was crazy. He was like, "Yeah, Aquaman, yeah, big deal. Hulk, yeah, big deal. Star Trek? You read my Star Trek books? Hell yeah."
That's awesome, man.
I'm sure I got one of the ones he signed right here.
Adam Hughes, that's another great one too, man.
Did I get him to sign this one?
Neil Adams, of course, as you mentioned, is just another
Neil
great.
Adams is great. No, not that one. It's way over there now.
Rest in peace, Alan Bellman. From a couple of weeks ago, that was super sad. Yeah. So.
Chris has the best answer. He goes, way too many. We're going to need a bigger mountainside to carve into.
For sure. Right? Hands down, Chris. Hands down.
Oh, man. Frankie reminded me of one of my top artists. I forgot. John Byrne. And like, as far as writer artists go, it's a very similar list. If you're like people that do both, Jack Kirby, Mike Mignola, John Byrne, Will Eisner. That would, because I think, but then you got Frank Miller too, and it's hard to. But I think I actually am more of a fan of John Byrne than Frank Miller. I think he's got more consistent work, but Miller has more innovative work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. Now I got a question for you, just like with the modern day guys. There's not too many guys that story and art. By any chance, did you read Shredder in Hell?
I read the first 2 issues of that, and now the trade is coming out, and I'm excited to read it again, but I still have my trades back there, and I'm going to get caught up on TMNT, and this may be the perfect time to do it.
You should do it, but man, Matteo Santiago killed
that stuff was really good,
and he does the art and the story in that. And I'll say this, it's some of the best art in like modern day comic books, and I don't think he gets enough love and doesn't get shouted out enough. And everyone should go read it and check it out for themselves, though. He does a great job with that. He does the art and the story. So
another great modern day writer and artist is Daniel Warren Johnson, the guy that did Murder Falcon and Extremity, and now he's doing Wonder Woman Dead Earth. Oh my God, I love his stuff.
Yeah, Murder Falcon was great.
I got to meet him last year. He signed my Murder Falcon #1. And he was a super cool dude too.
And Murder Falcon is everything as it sounds.
Yeah, right. And it had a perfect ending, and like it was absurd, it was obnoxious, it was tragic, it was nuanced, it was everything that you want in a comic book all in one, and it was great.
Yeah. No, I'm with you right there, Robbie. I'm with you right there.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, you about ready to wrap this up, Chad?
Yeah, I'm all about it, man. Thank you for having me, man. This was awesome.
Man, this has been super, super fun. We need to do this again very, very soon. Oh, wait, we got unboxings to do real quick, don't we?
Right. We might as well do that, right?
Let's do that. I'm not trying to keep you or anything.
No, bro. He seems to be back down, so we have some time, man.
Chad's got an unboxing, and I've got one too. Mine is a Kickstarter. I think yours is an A-OK, right?
Yeah, pretty much from the community. They're hooking me up. And the other thing is, too, it's kind of a spec book that I've been eyeing, and it's a low grade. It's nothing crazy. But I guess it's a little insider on my show tomorrow for those of you guys that are still here watching us. So you can check me out at 90MFComics. I do the comic book corner with me, a couple other homies of mine. We talk recent reads. I do some speculation talk, and then we do a segment that's called Stash or Trash, where we look at upcoming variants where you get to choose if you're going to stash it or trash it in your, collection. So check us out tomorrow, 90MF Comics. And this is my spec book for tomorrow. So it's a little insight for, I don't know if I should be giving it away here because maybe people won't.
Well, the PCP army is worth it. Come on, y'all.
All right. I mean, I have other spec
only if they promise to go subscribe to your channel. And
right.
While you're waiting for the weekly comic book review tomorrow night, which may be the last one for a while now, but while you're waiting on that video, go check out Chad's channel and check out their conversation. And hopefully I'll be on there soon since there's going to be no new comics reading.
It's true. I mean, I could show off. I do have other spec books, though, I could show and save that for tomorrow. Maybe that's what I should do. Let me see.
Now don't tease me now, man. Yeah. Come on. You promised me this before the stream even started.
All right, fine. We'll do it. But just in case, we'll go ahead and put the gloves on. So a little insider. This is my spec book for tomorrow. But I'll probably throw another book in there as well just to elaborate. And it'll probably be from the same title or related, so to speak, because this book actually has a different title, thinking about it. But let me put these gloves on because I just got this in. And I don't know what's going to happen. And I normally handle my books without gloves, but with everything going on and the little guy, I'm just being careful. So let me go ahead and open this up, Robbie. Yeah, so like I said, shout out to the community, hooked me up. It's a super low grade, but I just was specking on it, and I think honestly, I think shipped it costs like $50 if you'd believe that, and it's slabbed, which is awesome. So just to slab it would cost you $50,
Yeah.
So here, what we have, and it's a low grade. It's got tape on it, but that's fine. But this is Journey into Mystery Annual #1, the first appearance of Hercules.
Nice.
And this is my spec book for tomorrow. Yeah, because I think this is a great character that we could possibly see in the MCU. This is someone who I think could possibly show up in Eternals, could show up in Guardians of the Galaxy. Who really knows where the MCU is running? But I think this is a great book to have. And of course, Thor being one of my favorites. And, classic.
He could show up in Love and Thunder.
Oh, for sure. Without a doubt. And this is going to be what I'm talking about. I know, like I said, it's a 1.5. It's super low grade, but
low grade's better than no grade, as Bueller would say.
And I mean, as you see, that corner is not really there, but to me, this was there, and that's all I really wanted. I wanted that, classic.
That's super cool, man.
Battle between Hercules and Thor.
Look at that cover.
Yeah, man, just some classic Silver Age.
Those colors still pop on those Marvel books, man.
Bro, and just
crazy,
and just some classic Kirby goodness. So,
that's great stuff, man.
So yeah, man. So yeah,
thank you for sharing that.
No, of course, man. Thank you for letting me do that here. Like I said, nothing crazy, but
and they don't even have to worry about the rights on that one. Hercules is in the public domain. Anybody can use them.
Yeah, that's very true.
Just not with those leg straps.
Yeah, possibly, yeah, man. And this is gonna be my spec talk tomorrow. I'll probably throw another book in there as well. But yeah, man, check me out, 90MF Comics. Like I said, we'll do reviews, speculation, stash or trash. Come hang out, talk comic books, guys. 90MF Comics, because YouTube is 90.
90. You need like a big effect on that with like you need to make it like obnoxious morning radio show.
Yeah, I know.
That's what you got to do.
I need to make that happen for sure.
You got to make it happen. So I got this one I'm going to open up. It's I just got this in the mail today. It's a Kickstarter I did several months ago by Shelley Bond, who is a comic book writer and editor and artist. She had put together a bunch of different artists to do this book called Hey Amateur. That was going to have a different artist and writer on each page, and each page was going to be a 9-panel grid explaining how to do something. Some things are real, maybe like how to cook ramen. Some things are just silly, like how to reach higher dimensions. I don't know, right? I have no idea. But a lot of creators I really respect and love are in this book, like Alex Packnadel, Magdalene Visaggio. So I'm very excited to actually open this up here live because I've been waiting for this for months.
Here it is.
I haven't gotten all my extras yet, but I do got this whole pack here of it's my loot bag. Okay. So that's super cool. A bunch of stickers and all kinds of stuff, right? So it's got a Mike Allred cover, which immediately excites me. So there's the cover of it. This looks great. It's got Chuck Brown, Sanford Green, Danny, Gene Ha, Mike Allred. Oh my God, Jen Hickman. So many, Lisa Sturley. So many people on Paul Pope, Vita Ayala, Gail Simone. Oh my goodness, that's all the creators. See all those words? That's all the creators on here. They all get a page. Got mine signed by a few people.
Oh, okay.
Hell yeah. I went all out on this Kickstarter. I was like, I really like this. So yeah, they're all going to be 1-page, 9-panel grid stories, right? So that first one is how to eat ridiculously spicy food, which is definitely something that speaks to my heart. Because I know how to do that, and it's easy.
It speaks to everyone.
But look, they're all different kinds of like cool styles. They each get their own spotlight. Oh, it's got a nice ribbon in it too. Look at that. This is nice. Look at that.
Nice.
All kinds of different art styles, all kinds of indie creators and mainstream creators coming together. How to make burritos right.
All right. And I'm sure you might make a burrito after you eat that.
Yeah, I love making burritos. Look, Peter Bag, how to have a career in comics. That's super cool. I cannot wait. How to survive your parents' elder years. These are great. How to kiss. How to ring a bell to go outside. How to teach your dog to ring a bell to go outside. How to destroy the internet by Gail Simone. I'm excited about that one. Yeah, I'm really excited about that, man. I love getting a good Kickstarter, and then it's like Christmas. You back a Kickstarter, and then like months later you get something, and you're like, it's signed by I know it's signed by Shelley. I have no idea who the other people are. Oh, Shelley Bond and Philip Bond. One of the signatures just says Beto, so I don't know if that's the Texas senator or whatever the hell. Anyway, that's what I had there.
Nice, man.
Heck yeah. That's fun stuff, man, right?
Well, thank you for letting me join you, Robbie. This has been a ton of fun. We got to do this again.
Heck yeah, man. I really do appreciate you being on here. I appreciate everybody out there for watching. Definitely check out 90MF Comics. YouTube is 90. He's got a show tomorrow night. You're doing one tomorrow night, right?
Tomorrow night, 9 p.m. I'll be joined by the Conquistador Javier, the Highly Comic Bro, my boy D-Hide, and who else knows will pop in from the comic book community. So check me out, 90MF Comics. YouTube is 90.
Hell yeah, and I got nothing to do next Tuesday night, so maybe if you want to have me, maybe I'll jump in, man. That'd be fun.
Man. I'll pencil you in, of course, man. Let's do it. Let's make it happen, Robbie. I would love to return the favor and have you on my channel, man.
Thank you so much for being here. This has been fun. I can't wait to do this again. I cannot wait to meet you in person. We can hang out and listen to some dope records together.
Bro, we got to make it happen. After this whole pandemic ends, if I'm ever, my grandfather lives in Tennessee, so sometimes I drive up that way. So if I ever make that drive up there, maybe I'll just, make a little turn and
swing by the shop. I'll hook you up, give you a discount.
Hey, let's make it happen for sure.
I'll give you that Robbie discount.
Hey, definitely. I'll definitely take advantage of that if I'm making my way all the way up there for sure.
Heck yeah, man. We really do appreciate it, Chad. And we appreciate all of you out there. Please do like, share, subscribe, and we'll be doing more live streams throughout the week just to keep in touch because these are crazy times for the comic book community. Hell, for the global community. It's unprecedented. We're all in this together, and we'll make it through it.
Yeah.
We'll make it through it together.
Be safe, guys. Of course, for your loved ones, yourself, just be safe and just be cautious. Wash your hands, do all that fun and good stuff. Try to be in as much as possible. I know it sucks being inside, but, try to just limit your interaction until all this is over for now.
Yeah. Read some comics, catch up, because we all know that you're just like us and behind on your reading.
Yeah, of course.
We really appreciate it, y'all. Thanks for rocking with us.
Man, thank you guys for being here, and I appreciate the love, Robbie. Thank you again for having me on, man.
No joke.